All right, so greetings. This is for you, Scorpio. This is Tarot Lumination with your love and relationship report for February 2018. So, for you, Scorpio, there's a lot of action going on, regardless of love and relationship. It's just simply because of the way the planets are right now. And just got to deal with it because it will affect love and relationships, no question about it. So, do the usual routine, watch this report, and then watch your sun, moon, and rising, and then reinterpret everything and squash it together to suit you. Also, it might help if you do the cross-watching, as they call it, apparently, for the significant other, okay? We're going to use the crucible spread on the understanding that you're aware, Scorpio, that there's you, there's the significant other, and then there's the relationship itself, on the understanding that the relationship has an integrity, an identity, and an energy of its own that needs to be honored and respected and understood to get the most out of a relationship. And in loving, healthy relationships, we conduct everything through the relationship. So it'll show up when you see the spread in a moment. A couple of things I wanted to note. It's not an astrology channel, but I can't help adding a few nuggets this month, especially because it's such a very interesting month for all of us. So for you, Scorpio, you've got this huge eclipse thing going on in your fourth house, 10th house axis of home and career. Are you going to go through big changes in your home in order to accommodate career? Are you going to go through big changes in your career to accommodate a new home type of environment? What's happening? What's going on there? Okay, it is going to affect you. Also, you've got Jupiter and Scorpio right in your home turf right now. So there's a lot of transformation, deep transformation that's happening with you, Scorpio. From the deep soul upwards right into day-to-day life, like what's happening day to day. Okay, so let's just get on with it, okay? Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but we are going to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, flyers, oracles, no reversals. Keeping it very simple, okay, Scorpio? So let's go for it. We are well shuffled now. Okay, good. We're going to cut. Please understand, Scorpio, we are surrounded by angels here, Tarot Lumination, and you. We're going to share everything, okay? Make the best of this environment. Okay. So here we go. This would be your love and relationship energy that you're radiating, literally like a transmitter, okay? Consciously or unconsciously, okay? And this would be essentially what you would attract. So you can even watch this as a singles report if you really, really want to, if you will allow for maximization of the laws of attraction. But otherwise, let's say this is a significant other, a chosen relationship, a chosen loved one, okay? Now we're going deep inside of you here, the soul level, deep inside the other soul level, and then now to the core itself, the relationship. Okay, so you can already see here the crucible. Hope you understand that. And the crucible is a very powerful structure, strong structure in its ideal state that can withstand the intense pressures that occur inside the relationship as we intimate and we separate on our routine, regular, daily basis. All of us, we all do that. These are the prospects. This is kind of the momentum. If you think of it as a fountain, like you're constantly pumping in energy in and investing in the relationship. And this is circumstantial energy. We'll think of this as weather. And you, Scorpio, like all the rest of us, are going to make the best of it, okay? We're just going to state that as a protocol for this reading. So you have the Eight of Cups here. So, Scorpio, my feeling is that you're probably going through a chapter right now very much to do with these eclipses, where the eclipses are literally rattling your foundations, okay? Literally shaking everything up at the very core, so that to the point where you really don't have any choice except to move on and evolve and grow to higher spiritual levels, higher spiritual understandings of what your whole life is about, not just love and relationship, but it is going to play out very significantly in the area of love and relationship, simply because the eclipses are hitting so hard on your fourth and 10th house axis, hard angles there, because those axes indirectly affect relationships, home and career, career and home, your place in this world, your destiny, and the place where you sleep at night, your safe home, your security, your past, your let's say your history that's existed up till now. And no matter how much you love it, no matter how much you have invested in your life to this point, things are going to be upended and changed pretty much forever. No going back in one form or another, especially including love and relationship. So it's important to understand that. And also, Scorpio, you might not feel as though you have a lot of guidance and protection on the way, but you really do. Okay? You just have to kind of like believe it and like invoke to yourself. I am guided, I am protected. I am guided, I am protected. We are guided, we are protected. We are guided, we are protected. Let's have a look at you, Scorpio. What's going on? Be very, very careful, okay, with this time period that we call February 2018. Part of it is all about, it's about time you get what you deserve, what is yours, no matter what. But it means having to be extremely stealthy and very, very careful so that you don't trip up, get yourself into trouble, or get other people into trouble, or let other people get you into trouble with doing what has to be done. And a lot of the, let's say, the vibes that would be coming out of you right now would be, I would say, very mental, as you use all your mental skills and strategies and tactics in order to get through this like chicanery that's happening right now here in February, that's going to impact you directly. We just came out of the full moon eclipse. That would have touched you very strongly in the 10th house career area, your place in this world, destiny. And it might have been feeling like you're getting really jarred, almost like being on black ice. Like, whoa, wait a minute, what's happening here? Thought you had everything sort of lined up, and then all of a sudden things start skidding around and moving around. It means you have to be very, very careful and watch what you say. Watch what you say, who you're saying it to, when you're saying it, why you're saying it, where you're saying it, and what's the energy and tension behind the words and the communications. Be extremely careful, Scorpio. It's obvious that you understand that you are kind of in a perilous situation here where it could be very easy to skid around and lose traction at this period in time. Also, in that Leo Aquarius thing, it's a hard square to your sun. On top of that, the Leo Aquarius axis, eclipse axis, is a hard square to the big Jupiter in Scorpio thing right now. So it's, let's say, very, very easy to skid off track here. And that will affect your relationships. In other words, like you might not hardly be, thinking about relationships because you're just trying to stabilize and get traction here. But love still continues and goes on, all right? So let's have a look at the significant other, okay? Well, my feeling here is that in their own way, they're struggling to try and keep their act together on their side of the equation. But it's in a very different environment. It's a completely inverted environment. From their perspective, they're doing a great job and they're actually rising to the occasion. And it's almost like all the challenges that are happening with a significant other, from all the demands, from all the stakeholders in their life and their world, including you, okay? You are one of the stakeholders in this significant other's life. Okay, remember, you're an individual. They're an individual. You have a complete life and identity of your own. They have a complete life and identity of their own. And yet, in the context of this reading, it's a love relationship. Both parties are almost going through a mirror image, let's say, experience of what each other is going through. You in your own way, they're in their own way, which could be well, let's say very intriguing, and you could put both of you in a very, let's say, delicate position to make sure that you, Scorpio, are being fully ethical and fully, let's say, transparent in what you're doing and how you're doing it, not fooling yourself, not fooling anybody, not let anybody fool you. So, and the same thing, they're doing whatever they can to maximize the situation so that it works for them. These are energies I feel are very much about both individuals literally trying to keep their act together simply as individuals, let alone the relationship itself. Okay, that's just what I'm feeling here for you. Okay, Scorpio. I'm not saying that's what is, it's just a feeling that I get, and that's how I feel the story is unfolding here. Both of you, you might be struggling with this. They're doing a good job of handling it. Very courageous, very nobly. You're having to be, let's say, very stealthy, very cautious, very, very careful. And so that, let's say, not only do you try to minimize sabotaging yourself, but also sabotaging the relationship and sabotaging their own evolutionary path in this love relationship dynamic. So let's have a look deeper down inside of you, Scorpio. What's going on? Okay. Well, it's kind of a big deal. It's obviously very crucial, like I was talking about earlier with the astro chatter, that even though we're not talking about the love houses like the fifth house and the seventh house or even the eighth house here, with those eclipses, the fact that they're happening in the fourth and the 10th house of home and everything outside the home and your place in the world, the destiny, that does have a strong impact on the relationship itself. In other words, what exactly are you doing with your life, Scorpio? What exactly are they doing with their life? And while you're trying to figure out your stabilization, how are you going to stabilize yourself in the home environment so that the relationship continues to flourish? How are they stabilizing themselves in the home and love and relationship environment so that the relationship can flourish? Because obviously, deep down, what's going on is that there's a stark awareness from you about your situation, the relationship, your significant other, that this is actually a really big deal for you right now. This isn't just a trivial month passing and then we're just going to cruise through onto the next month. No, this is a very, very significant month where it's very, very easy to mess up if we're not careful. This is your reading, okay, for you. It's not their reading about them. It's not even a couple's reading. They're doing a very good job, okay, doing what they have to do. They're obviously very invested in the relationship and courageously holding their position, primarily to honor and respect themselves, but also in the context of the relationship. I feel it very, very strongly for you. There's a lot of mutuality here, very, very strong mutuality in very challenging circumstances. So it brings out the energy of the relationship very significantly, like, oh my gosh, Scorpio is realizing what a big deal this is and how much of an impact this month is going to have on your most significant relationship, to the point where, let's be honest, it's going to bring out the best in you in some ways, Scorpio, because of all that beautiful Jupiter and Scorpio, really the great benefic helping you to grow and expand and be your most awesome self and go through the deep transformational healing that is happening right now for you. It's inevitable with Jupiter in Scorpio right in your face on the first house, so to speak. So your identity is transforming basically, and it's like going through that chrysalis phase, with the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly, and we're right in the middle of the chrysalis phase right here, and you're realizing this is a big deal. It's almost like, ouch, this is a big deal. Oh my gosh, ouch, this is a big deal, because it's bringing out the best in you and it's exposing the worst in you, everything that's not working. With these eclipses, you're going to find out very starkly what is not working for you in the foundations of your life in your home. Are you considering a complete relocation, for example? How's that going to affect your love life? what's happening in your career, your place in this world, your destiny in this world, like your what are you bringing to this earth? How is that going to affect your home life, and how will that affect your love life and relationships? That's important, serious stuff. It's not lovey-dovey stuff, but it is very important in terms of how the relationship, plays out. So let's have a look at the other. Okay. My first feelings are like, poor thing. They've reached a limit where they've decided there's, you know, uh, it's at the point where in their own life, in their own world, in their own way, perhaps nothing to do with you, but this is very much about them. I see this energy is very, uh, let's say, unified here. They are realizing that in their own situation, in their own way, certain things are unsustainable anymore in their current structure. And eventually, certain things are going to collapse and new things are going to be reborn. It's inevitable, especially because of the eclipses. Now, this is not their reading. We don't know how this is playing out for them in the context of the relationship, but there is a lot of, let's say, determination here to get this to work, to make this relationship work. But it's at the point where it's at breaking point. They're at the limits of their capacities to handle this and do this, which is bringing out the very, very best in them in their terms of their courage. But deep down, it is like they are absolutely maxed out on their capacity to handle this situation right now. So that impacts you, Scorpio, and again amplifies your deep heart soul awareness about how important this relationship is to you, Scorpio. In other words, by the very, very stark awareness of what's not working and what needs to change and what is inevitably going to change. So how is that going to manifest in your, I'm not saying, how's that actually going to, translate into the day-to-day realities of your love and relationship moving on here, like from March onwards, like from the end of February, things are going to change a lot because everything's moving into Pisces energy, very, very harmonious for you. So please understand that this is just one reading. This too shall pass. But right now, here in February, you're right under the intense pressure of the eclipses, which are doing that hard square to you, directly hard square, almost like a big old-fashioned T-square right on top of you. So what about the relationship itself? Okay. Whoa. Okay. My feeling is that as tough as this might be for you, Scorpio, as challenging as things might be for you in the area of foundations of your life, the home, where typically the most important parts of the loving relationship occur in the foundations of your life, there is a complete change, like a change of home, change of the foundations in your life, which are going to impact the significant other to a radical new beginning. But it's actually ultimately going to be very empowering for both of you in the context of this relationship. In other words, as stressful as this is for both of you, it's actually ultimately for the good of both of you. It's going to maximize you and bring out the very best in you and allow you to be more empowered than ever before, Scorpio, and for them to be more empowered before as well. But it's by going through an intense struggle to get there, to come out the other side. In other words, it's just like being really, 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 really squeezed through this eclipse period right now. And also, by the way, Scorpio, because it's a Leo Aquarius thing and it's hard squares to you, please understand at the end of July and in August, we've got 3 more eclipses. Okay, 3. 2 of them are on the Leo Aquarius axis. So we're kind of getting an advanced look at what's happening later this year. Okay, so we're not just flipping a switch here. This is big shift, evolutionary shifts that are going to play out later on again in this year, like a more evolved version of what we're seeing here. What are the prospects? Look at this. Whoa. Whew. Well, this is exciting, Scorpio. In a way, I feel like really this is hard reading for me to read for you, Scorpio. But ultimately, I see this as very empowering for you and your significant other, and for your significant other and themselves. For the relationship itself is really awesome. That's what I see here. And it's a really profoundly awesome relationship, which is like almost through going through convulsions of getting the best out of yourselves and each other. You're bringing out the best in them, they're bringing out the best in you, and it becomes very empowering where both of you get to the point where you realize, whoa, it's just like, it's almost like over here, you're under intense pressure. They're under intense pressure. They can hardly handle it. They're at breaking point. You're at breaking point, having to be extremely cautious, subtle, and stealthy just to get through this without messing things up big time, because they are at breaking points, and you, Scorpio, are aware of that. Okay, you can probably sense this deep down inside them, and they are quivering and shaking over here, just holding on. But they know and they feel it's worth it because they can sense this. They feel this, they know this in the relationship, that this is really good for them. Whoa, it's awesome. This, you know, it's really, really good for you. And this is a profound, ultimate love relationship in the most classic sense. We could even take it to marriage. We could take it to ultimate soulmates here, where both parties are realizing this is the end of one way of being and the beginning of another. The whole relationship itself is about spiritual evolution, where the relationship is very empowering. You both come, like let's say by the end of February, heading into March, you both come into your own power much more than ever before. And that's very, very satisfying, because then you realize, kapow, yeah, wow, we did that. We did that. I love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging in. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I had no idea I was at breaking point. Well, I got to tell you, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was at breaking point as well. Man, I had to be so careful. I thought the slightest thing I could really mess us up, mess you up. And I don't want to do that to you. Well, I was just doing everything I can to hold my side of it together because I knew that you were struggling. Oh, wow, that's amazing. That means you must really love me. Yes, I do. That means you must really love me. Yes, I do. See how awesome we are? So you rise in, so the relationship itself has the identity, integrity, and energy of sovereignty. The relationship itself becomes something truly like it's just awesome. I don't know what other word to use. It's kind of magnificent. That sounds like I'm overstating things, but it's very empowering for both of you. It's just a very, very tough, like going through a very tight nozzle to get there and come out to this. It's going to mean a lot of change and transformation, no question about it. It's going to put both of you under a lot of pressure, but you can handle it, and both of you will come out the other side the better for it. Both more aligned with your true sovereign selves as individuals, and the relationship being symbolic of two people who love each other very much and who are empowered, who are very interested in empowering each other, so that the relationship itself is like almost like a sacred one of those things. It's uh, like I don't know what the word is, like brotherhood or fraternity, or uh, not a fraternity, but where you make a pact. The pact is about just like being like a couple that can handle anything, handle intense pressures and still prevail. I think it's, I know there's really no, well, there are cups cards here. It's all about leaving what you did love behind and starting a whole new, this is starting like a whole new world, going through a grinder, going through a mincer and coming out and starting from scratch again and creating something awesome. Okay. Very empowering for both of you. All the best. Thank you, Scorpio. Hold on. I'll just leave this here and you can reinterpret however you want. Let me just squash this up. Love you guys, okay? Love you so, so much. Thank you for letting me read this for you. Hope I didn't scare you away or anything. I'll probably have to do another video about, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, people, about how I scared you in your love relationships readings for February. Sorry. So I'm apologizing now, but I see this as awesome for you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.